Get through this.
My name's Alicia. I'll be interpreting for you. Yeah, that's supposed to be that one. I got that. Nice to meet you. See that? Sit next to that.
Okay, this is
And I'm so glad since Regina is here as well. Because they used to play being over here quite often.
This is a really good friend of mine.
Oh, is that right?
Hi, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started if everybody could find a seat. I want to thank everybody for coming today. You know, the love and support that you've shown us today through the past couple of months. And a lot of people here for the past 40, 50 years. So we very much appreciate that. I think Mom today would really enjoy, and in the family we thought would be special, is to share stories, some memories, you know, what my mom meant for you, and you know, anything special that you would like to share, you know, we would like to hear, and I think everybody else would as well. You know, my mom, she liked to keep things. and not just lots of things, but everything. You know, there's construction paper left over when I was in 4th grade. We still have it. There's the rusty wood high chair of death we still have. There was the Campbell's soup bowl with the good on it that took months of Mom with those soup labels that she would collect to get that for free. You know, and that's the soup bowl that she would feed me cream of wheat. And then we got to feed her cream of wheat. A couple months ago, it was our turn. You know, Mom liked to keep things. It was frustrating, but it was a source of humor with us. And, you know, we finally learned why she liked to keep things. It reminded her of being a mom. So she, you know, Mom touched hundreds of lives as a teacher for the physically and mentally handicapped. Really amazing. This is not a glamorous profession. It's not a high-paying profession, but this was truly her passion and what she was meant to do. It's got to be overwhelmingly mentally hard, emotionally hard, physically hard job. And she does that, and then she goes to the nursing home and cares and feeds and wipes noses and wipes butts. And then she has to come home and raise the family also. And like many wives can attest, some of us husbands need raising too. So, men. But she did it, and she never complained. She was tough. Life threw a lot at her. Head down. She got through it, and she did it. That was impressive, and really respect her for that. She epitomized kind of that phrase of giving the deaf a way to hear, giving the blind a way to see. She did it with such dignity and love, which they so deserved. You know, we won't ever know their names, but they will never forget Kathy's name. The family, we were blessed to spend time with her over the past couple of months, and, such a blessing. We got to talk more with her friends and her coworkers, and we, as we go through her things together, we start to see her not as mom, but we really started to appreciate her as Kathy, and that was special. I think a testament to her spirit is a couple months ago, the doctor came into the house with the family and, confirmed what we already knew. It's going to be a couple weeks. And, as Mom and I started to walk the doctor out to the porch, and, Mom, and this is her Leopard DNA, kept talking and engaging with the doctor and, trying to find this common interest. And the doctor's like, well, my daughter's in college and does dance. My mom, he goes, oh, well, I used to do dance also. And the doctor said, oh, well, what kind? And my mom, without skipping a beat, says pole dancing. and she was dead silent, straight look on her face, and just kind of let it sit there for a moment. She goes, oh, I'm kidding. And this doctor pulls down the mask. He says, I've been doing this 20 years. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. So, with that, I think to sum up that, Dad said it best when we were on a walk a month ago. He stopped and said, Chris, your mom was a caregiver, and your sister has inherited that trait. So thank you, Dad, and thank you, Emily. With that, Emily, would you like to say?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. I am not floored or surprised to see so many people here today who knew my mom. I probably haven't seen a lot of you probably since I was in pigtails, but she still spoke of your names, and she had memories, a lot of memories with a lot of people here. To me, my mom was probably one of the most extraordinary women that I have known. I know I'm not the only person she inspired. She inspired almost anyone in this room. She inspired her coworkers when she was with the MRDD. She inspired the nursing home, her friends. She inspired me to be a very strong person and very patient, which my father likes to test me every day. And love, she has so much love in her heart, and she just loved everyone and everything, and just, you can just tell it surrounded her, and it surrounded you when you're around her, and you felt it, just genuine love. There was actually a lot my mother taught me when I was growing up. And just a basic kid, I just kind of rolled it off, didn't pay attention to it. And now becoming an adult, I didn't realize, and still now, of all the lessons I've learned from her. And I'm sure I will still continue learning more and more. There was, she was everything to me. She was my advisor, my confidant. They say that, your parent's not your best friend, your parent is your parent, and I will say that's false. She was my best friend, and I didn't realize it. So not too long ago, she was there for me for everything. She taught me how to be brave and taught me how to fight kindness. And I have perfected her eye roll. She cared a lot with a passion with anyone else I know. I remember roaming through the halls at Northeast and just watching her with her students, with her coworkers. And she did it with a passion. And I saw the same passion when she was working at the nursing home. And she had a lot of pride in her work. She didn't show it off. She didn't brag about it. She did it with a little kick, and she moved on to the next project, to the next whatever she was doing. She was doing something, and she was compassionate about it. And I know witnessing it when she was at the nursing home, when she was in activities, she did her one-on-one, and she just sat there with residents and she talked with them and just did whatever they needed. She attended them. That's what she did. She always was so attentive with everyone. She was my first teacher growing up, and I know she will still be teaching me life lessons. And this legacy that she left, that no one could fill, no one could the superintendent of the MRDD even called me and told me how amazing and wonderful and compassionate this woman was. And if it wasn't for my mom, he wouldn't have been hired. And that's just her. She saw spark and pride in people that no one else could have. And her laughter and wit will always be in our memories, as my brother shared some stories earlier. And she was just truly one of the most exceptional women that I know. And my only comfort now is that she's no longer suffering and pain, and she's in peace. And one of her last words that she spoke was hug. Now, my mother loved to hug. She gave everybody a hug. So now, Mom, you can go to sleep. And I promise my brothers and I will keep it down.
I've never been good at expressing my feelings. Sometimes I say to my mom, it's too late. I didn't get the tell her enough. I loved her. I didn't hug her enough. And I regret it to this day. Without my mom, I wouldn't know the things I know now. She taught me a lot, and I didn't realize what she taught me until I started driving down here for the last couple months on the weekends. My radio broke in my truck, so I had time to think of that. It's a 2.5-hour drive, and it hit me hard. Man, some of the things I remember that my mom taught me, and it was almost subliminal in a sense, my reminiscence about the past. I remember, many of you know, I tried to ride a bull in the rodeo. Didn't work out too well. I had double vision for 2 years. And my last eye surgery, to fix that double vision, we were sitting in the recovery room, and my mom was there, and I could just have my eye worked on. I could barely see. And there, the nurse put a cup of water down there for me to sip on every time I would reach for my water. My mom would slap. And all I heard was laughter. You thirsty, Ryan? My mom had the greatest sense of humor. When my family gets together, we all laugh nonstop. It's because of Mom. That left part in her. That is the most important lesson I think I've learned from my mom. Laugh at life, no matter how bad it is. Look at her. She fought polio. She had a brother who died at a very young age. And you slap her in the cheek, she turns the other cheek and says, "Is that all you got?" And laughed. A few months ago, it was Chris, Emily, myself, my mom and dad. And my mom at this point could barely sit up, barely talk and move. And my dad, obsessed with the fly fishing, kept going on about a river runs through it. So I put some music on to deviate a little bit, put on some Willie Nelson. And I look over at my mom, and I first thought she was signing the lyrics. So Chris, Mom is signing the lyrics. Then we looked at her some more. Like, Mom, what are you doing? She was going like this, and she went like this. She said, "I'm fishing." And she smiled. She was mocking my dad. She's on her deathbed. She's laughing, making fun of Dad. My mom always told me it could be worse. Because of my parents, they brought us up in a very affluent area. And I'd go to my buddies' houses after school, and their mother would stop everything they're doing, make us a snack, and give us a hug. My buddies would come to my house, and I'd say, "Hey, Mom, we're hungry." She said, "You got 2 legs. You want it, you gotta get it yourself. Life is not handed to you. Make it happen." My mom would always say, it could be worse. And I heard it like a typical guy and went in one ear out the other. And then not too long ago, when our grandpa Lep was at the end of his life, he stayed at the Columbus colony for a while. And on her day off, we go to see Lep. And as we're leaving, she wanted to go see a resident there. And I'm sure most of you are aware, Columbus Colony is one of the very few nursing homes that has residents who are both blind and deaf at the same time. She wanted to go see a resident. We went in there. And at that moment, if you could ever see an angel, that was it. She walked into the room, and to communicate with them, she had a little ball. And that ball was Kathy. Put it in the patient's hand, and that resident smiled like I've never seen someone smile. And she laughed, and my mom just hugged her. It was like, that's my mom. That right there, I understood what she meant, that it could be worse if a person, an elderly person who's deaf and blind, can sit there and laugh and smile and hug my mom. I don't have a right to bitch because my mom didn't make us a snack after school. I was a spoiled, rotten kid. I did not get to tell my mom enough I loved her. So out of respect for my mom, I love you, Mom. Thank you.
Now, I think we would, anybody that, has any memories to share of Mom, feel free to stand up and express now. Yes.
Kathy Brundage was my best friend, my co-worker. I met Kathy, we were both assistants in the same classroom, and taught me a lot. Then I became a teacher, and Kathy became my assistant. And my assistant actually knew more than I did, because she had been in it longer than I had, but she never, if I asked her, I needed her advice or whatever, she gave it to me, but she never criticized anything I did, even if I was wrong. She might give me a funny look, but she never, ever criticized me. And I know we became personal friends. When lunch, we'd come to my house, we'd have a swimming pool, and we'd sit around the pool, and I know how much she loved her family, her husband, her two sons, and her daughter, and her granddaughters. I don't believe that I was around Kathy so much when she got her lovely grandson, but I know she loves you guys just as much. We had lots of fun. We worked hard together. Kathy was, I retired after 31 years, and Kathy was probably one of the hardest caring, as I can say, an assistant in my classroom. And I had a lot of other people, but Kathy has always had that special place in my heart. I have to tell you a few funny stories. Our friends used to say, if you got Judy and Kathy together, you got one brain. As we were both kind of like, oh yeah, that's funny. And we were both always willing to try something. And one year we were going on spring break with our other friends. And that one second son got knocked off a pole. So she wasn't sure she was going to get to go. And so then we started improving. And so the other group had already gone. So Kathy and I were driving together. But she and Jim had to go somewhere on a Sunday. So I said, we'll just go. When you get back, just come on over to my house and we'll leave. So I think we left about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and my husband said, don't you think you should not leave this late? No, we'll be fine, stay all night. Well, as we're driving, the rain starts to pour, and it's going bad. Of course, Kathy and I never stopped talking, not once. And then we stayed overnight together, and then got back in the car. And we got to the Outer Banks, and one of our friends came running out of the house, hugging us. Oh my God, I'm glad you're here. She said, I worried about you two being driving together this whole time. And we're like, oh, we don't have a trouble. I don't think we were doing the driving the other part. So that has always meant so very much to me. And thank God that Emily had called me and said that Kathy wanted to see me. So I had the privilege of spending time with her on the Tuesday that she passed away. I was there from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And Emily sat, we had a conversation, and I held Kathy's hand. I could feel her squeezing it. She knew it was me. And we were telling stories and laughing about things, and I could tell that she just was loving it. And then I got ready to leave, and Emily said, oh, Mom wants to give you a hug, because I was like this. I'm happy to have an arm about this big. And I leaned down, put my cheek next to hers. And she had both arms around me, and I kissed her on the cheek and said, I love you. And she was actually squeezing me. So I had the honor of having one of hugs. And I miss Kathy. We kind of haven't had a lot of time together lately. Of course, last year nobody did, but prior to that, but I'm telling you, she loved all kids. And I know she talks about working at the home, and always happy, always joyful, always wanted to make somebody feel good. So, you guys are lucky to have her as your mom, and as I said, she loved all of you with all of her heart.
Thank you. We love kind of, hearing Mom and seeing Mom in the different, relationships that she's had, and, definitely a consistent theme. Dad?
Yeah. Mom's looking down, and she wants to say thank you. She said all these people are here, and she'd be embarrassed. She would be. And, I got lucky, okay? 52 years, and she could have kicked me out many times, but she didn't. Some reason she loved me. Oh, hold on. She had the capacity not only to love people, to care about them. She thought love was an action word, and she acted. A year ago, I was in the Columbus Colony for a few weeks, recovering, and when those residents found out who I was a rock star. I mean, it was real. That's Kathy's husband. And to this day, a lot of those people over there remember her very well. And she's looking down right now, and she's seeing 3 kids she's real proud of. And she's seen 4 grandkids. It's pretty neat. Yeah, it's little things. The caring thing got passed on. Emily, I don't, 60, 70 doctor appointments she took Mom to. I don't know how many chemo treatments and radiation, but Emily never complained once. Just glad to do it. And just as recently as a couple weeks ago, Ryan was down, and I had a picture I wanted to paint, but I didn't know how to do it. So he sat down with me, and we did it, and we got about halfway done, and it's not done. He's going to come back, and we're going to finish it. And just a matter of yesterday, Chris said, he could tell I was just about shot. He said, come on, Dad, let's get out of here. And he said, he took me for a walk at Hoover Dam. She cared. And he learned that from here. So thank you, Mom, for caring. Thank you all for being here.
Uncle Russ?
I'm gonna scoot up front here and take this mask off, so make sure I keep my distance, okay? I'm Russ. I'm Kathy's stepbrother. I was on the other end of the circle in relation to healthcare. I'm an athletic trainer, and I was fortunate enough to always work with elite athletes. Well, most of the time, Jim, even though I'm at Michigan. We need a few more up there, okay? But anyway, those of you that knew Kathy and knew her profession, I had some experiences going through after for physical therapy of working in some of the facilities, similar to that Kathy worked her whole life. And, those people like Kathy are just so unbelievable. The patience and the caring that you have. If I was working with an athlete, I could just holler at them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd say to them many times, they didn't really realize how fortunate they were to be so skilled. But there are many people out there that need help and caring. And the people like Kathy Brundage is just unbelievable. And although I wasn't super close to Kathy and her family, we probably, with families and whatever in later years, we weren't together as much. But I just want to share, as if you don't already know it, how super, super special she was. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
I'm just going to stand back here. As most of you know, Kathy is a bridge player. And I played in one of her groups, and we played for over 50 years. And she would keep us in line, because sometimes when there weren't 8 people there for 2 tables, somebody would suggest that we play rummy or something. No, Kathy did not want to do that. We played bridge. And so I remember sometimes we just sat and talked, which was actually our best thing anyway. That's what we're good at. But sometimes we would have one table and the rest of us would sit down and talk. But I was thinking about this the other night, and I thought, somebody needs to take Kathy's role. And I thought, maybe I'll do that. I'll whip everybody into shape, make sure we play bridge and I'm sure that Kathy's looking down and she would be very happy about that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm one of Kathy's coworkers. We carpooled to Reynoldsburg High School for 7 years together. And because we both live in Westerville. And we'd be like, Judy would say, talking all the time. And one morning, I was driving, trying to get off the Main Street exit there in Reynoldsburg. I missed the exit. Of course, then there's no other exit close by, because then you're heading on down to 70. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's no place to turn around. And ended up in Obens. You know, the kind of jokes about Obed. And so Kathy calls school to tell our one teacher here that we're going to be a little bit late because we missed the exit. And so then Joanne says, well, where are you? We said, in Obed's. Oh, geez. You know. So we were about a half hour late getting into school. And a few months later, Kathy found a Hallmark card that had one of the funny cards that had a picture of two old ladies on it, you know, and they're in a convertible, and they're just got their arms up, like, you know, looking at the sun, and I forget what it said on the inside, but then Kathy's like, this is you and me. On another side of Kathy, like you say, her caring. When my parents passed away back in 2007, they both passed away about 2 months of each other. And my dad passed away after my mom did. No, he passed away first. We carpooled that day to school, but I get a call at school saying from the nursing home for them, I needed to get to my dad. She was allowed to leave, you know, and she took me to my dad. And my mom and dad were both together in the same apartment. She stayed, because she knew my mom years before. In fact, Kathy, she knew my mom years before I knew Kathy. And so that's how I got to know Kathy. My mom really introduced Kathy to me. And Kathy stayed while we were there with my dad. My sister and I were there with my dad. And she sat with my mom, you know, while things were happening with my dad. And she could have left. She could have just dropped me off, come in, just said hello, and then left and gone back to school. No, she took the rest of the afternoon off, stayed with me and my family because she had been so close to my mom. But like you say, it's such a caring person. That was just the way she was. And so we all know the funny side of Kathy, and we all know the very caring side of Kathy. Those were two incidents that I have never forgotten as her being my close friend.
Great, thank you. Anybody else like to share any stories or anything?
Maybe I could tell a story about bingo when we were playing together. Oh, goodness. Kathy helped with the bingo every Monday. She would help people there at Columbus Colony. Really loved to hear about her. We loved her so much. And she would help us all with bingo. She would write everything out for us, and I was so thankful. I just love you. It breaks my heart. I feel so heartbroken. And I'm so thankful that I was called. They let me know that she had passed. And I pray for the whole family.
This is Regina Slater.
This is Regina Slater.
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 Slater. Sorry. Oh, last name wrong.
Thank you. Shirley?
I've known Kathy since you were a baby. We started playing, they joined our couples bridge group, and that was the beginning of an amazing relationship between all groups. So I've known Kathy for a long time. My takeaways are you children were fine. And I feel, even though I'm a lot older than Kathy, I feel like she was kind of a role model for me. I watched the way she just stuck up for the kids and whatever was needed, she He was there for you. And I saw that from camping trips where we go and spend several days, and it was just, evident. But my own grandchildren loved Kathy. She would go out in the cornfields at the Mohican when we camped, and just play games with them, Kristen and Zoe, and they were very, very sad to hear of Kathy's passing, even though I haven't seen her for probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 years now, but, and it's interesting, the different perspectives. When we played bridge together, we had some serious men in our bridge group. And Kathy wasn't always real serious about the bridge. She wanted to talk. I realized finally that she was doing all this stuff at work, caring for people, serious stuff. When she got to bridge, she wanted to visit. She wanted to visit with us. What are you doing? How are we doing? And, and it was really distracting for some people. But it was who Kathy was. She was in the moment. She was very present. And we're going to miss her a lot. Very special person.
Thank you, Shirley. Yeah. Anybody else? Well, myself and the family, thank you just for the tremendous amount of support today over the past couple months, and thankful and that she had a lot of good friends and coworkers in her life. So that means a lot. And, mom can rest now. So with that, thank you all for coming, and love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.